All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. And I want to give double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us His truth through will. There's a brother Izar, and I'm out here in Cedar Park, Leander, Texas. All right, and I'm just going to get into the book of John, you know, because it has a little bit of about the truth. It talks a little bit about what a prophet sees and what a prophet goes through. And it's also going to talk about what the light of the world is, you know. And those are things that, you know, we should carry with ourselves in remembrance of why we're in this truth, you see. So let me go to it. This is John chapter 1 and verse 1, and it reads, in the beginning was the Word. All right, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the Most High, and the Word was a God. The same was in the beginning with God. All right, so people like to confuse that and say, see, it's just really being poetic. All right, people think that Yahweh Shai was actually the Most High, all right, when it's not true. You know, what it's talking about is that Yahweh Shai was a power, man. He was a type of deity, all right, or he is a type of deity, but so are the children of Israel, you know. I believe that's in, if I'm not mistaken, Psalms 64. Yeah, it's not on here. Can't remember exactly where it was at. 50, 60. But yeah, man, like Yahweh Shai said, you know, he said, is it not written in your law that ye are gods? You know? And for the reason being is because that word God means power. All right? That word Allah means power. All right? So in the beginning, all right, when it says when the Elohim is how they translate it in the modern day Hebrew, all right, that word Elohim actually means Alahayim, all right, Alahayim, Yam meaning plural, all right, Alahayim meaning the gods, all right, the powers created the heaven and the earth, starting with Yahweh Shai, all right, and then the angels, you know, whether that be the 144,000 and Michael and the rest of them, or just 144,000, you know. But it tells you that the Alahayim created the heaven and the earth, all right, ordained by the word of the Most High, you see. So it goes by rank. It's the Most High, whose name is Yahweh, and then Yahweh Shai, all right, and then you have the 144,000, the elect, which is 12,000 out of each tribe. You see? So the word was with the Most High. You see, we were all with the Most High. You know? We're all part of that governing body. You see? Under the order of Yahweh. Because the Most High chose Israel. All right? He chose Israel to be that governing body. You know, and Lord willing, I'll get into it. But it says, the same was in the beginning with the Most High. All right? And Scripture talks about wisdom. All right? Wisdom originating with the Most High. You know? So that wisdom, knowledge, understanding is, and being an Israelite all right, following after Yahweh and Yahweh Shai all ties in together, man. It's all one big, one whole. You see? It's all part of the same. It says, all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. You see? All things were made by him, and out of all things that were made was nothing made but through him, or by him. All right? What was that? 2nd Esdras. Went right on it. All right? 2nd Esdras chapter 6 and verse 1. And he said unto me, in the beginning, all right, in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or ever the winds blew, before it thundered and lightened, or ever the foundations of paradise were laid, before the fair flowers were seen, or ever the movable powers were established, before the innumerable multitudes of angels were gathered together, or ever the heights of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the firmament were named, or ever the chimneys in Sion were hot. All right, so Esdras is you know, painting a perfect picture. All right, he's painting a picture to let us know what was established from the beginning. You know? So he's telling you, before anything, any foundation of the earth, all right, before the chimneys of Zion were hot, all right, before any of this was laid in the foundation of the earth, before the foundation of the earth was made, before the sun, the stars, the moon was made, all right, before all these things were made, all right, it says, and ere the present years were sought out, or ever the inventions of them that now sin were turned, before they were sealed that have gathered faith for a treasure. All right, so before they were sealed that have gathered faith for a treasure, all right, which is now, that's the elect right now. All right, they're gathering faith for a treasure. So before even that happened, it says, then did I consider these things, and they were all made through me alone. All right, so the Most High is speaking through Ezra, all right, and he's telling them, you know, he's speaking to Ezra, and he's telling them, all right, before any of these things that you see before your eyes, or before any of the things that happen before you, or you see any of the things that happen after you, all right, before any of these things were laid, all right, before any of the things were created, then did I consider these things. All right, so the Most High considered those things, man. So that Big Bang Theory, all right, that the universe created itself because it needed to be created, guess what? All right, they're stealing those things from the scriptures because the Most High thought of the universe being created. The Most High thought of the end from the beginning, like scriptures say. You see? So from the beginning, the word was already established, man. From the beginning, the elect were already established. You see? So let me read that part again. It says, or ever, Salakia, verse 5, and ere the present years were sought out, and ever the inventions of them that now sin were turned, before they were sealed, that have gathered faith for a treasure, all right, being the elect, it says, then did I consider these things. So the Most High considered these things before anything was ever established. And they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. All right? So clowns like to think, oh, well, the Most High is the only one, all right? Yahweh Shai doesn't exist. It's only the Most High. You see? So they don't believe in the New Testament. All right? But that would be false, man. You see? Because Yahweh Shai doesn't do things according to his will. He said it himself. I did not come here to do my own will. All right? I came here to do the will of him that sent me. You see? Same thing with the prophets. The prophets didn't prophesy according to their own will. They prophesied according to the Most High's will, man. You know? John the Baptist. You see? John the Baptist was sent by the Most High. He was set up by the Most High. Yet not everybody believed in John the Baptist. All right? Why did they not believe in John the Baptist? Because it wasn't given up to them. All right? Because the elect are going to be sealed according to the will of the Most High. It says, they were all made through me alone, and through none other. By me also shall they be ended, and by none other. So it doesn't matter how much you believe you're an Israelite and how much you go out there to try and change the world, all right? It's not going to be ended by you, man. It's going to be ended by the Most High Yahweh through his son Yahweh Shai, all right? And Yahweh Shai has a governing body, all right, being the 144,000 elect. You see? Starting with King David, you know? So Yahweh Shai has everything set up, man. So that election, all right, that election that Yahweh Shai has chosen through the Most High is going to be out in the highways and the byways preaching the word of truth, rightly dividing the word of truth, man. You know? Whether that be the mark of the beast, all right, which is the RFID chip, whether that be Jacob's trouble, all right, which starts with a martial law, whether that be who the Israelites are, which are your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, whether it be who the prophets are, you see, which starts at Great Millstone, started from El Tahar on down. Those prophets were set up to speak about all these things, man, you know, like Apostle Paul said. You know, you have to judge even the smallest things, man, because you're going to be judging a whole entire nation, all right? And nations under that nation. So how can you be a judge of the whole entire kingdom if you can't be a judge of little things, you know? So it says, then, all right, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? All right, so now, you know, Ezra's getting into something else, you know, after the Most High answered him. I established the end from the beginning, all right? I made Esau Edom. I created Jacob. I created Isaac, all right? I created Abraham. I created Egypt, the house of bondage. I created America. You see? The Most High ordained everything, like it says in Romans 13, you know? We're not going to go out here and start, you know, coming up against our government, you see? But what are we left to do? We're left to preach this word, man. You know? That's what an Israelite is left to do, to preach the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. You see? It ain't nothing, you know, big. We're not going to be walking around and walking on water and, you know, floating around and shit, man. We have a job to do, man. We have work to do, you know? It says, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. You see? But coming back to John chapter 1 and verse 3, all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. All right, so the Most High already ordained who the kingdom of heaven belongs to. And like it says in the book of Romans, who are you, all right, to come up against the Most High? Let me get that. You know? Because a lot of these people, man, they want to come up against, you know, what we preach, saying, well, I don't believe in that. All right, that's cool, man. But that's what the Most High already ordained. All right? So who are you to disannul what the Most High already ordained? You know? Even us. You know, Lord willing, I'm part of that number, part of the elect, you know? But even us, the brothers, all right, the brotherhood, we're nobody to come up and say, you know what? This shit ends today. I'm going to cause the Most High to come down. None of that shit, man. You know? It's all according to the will of the Most High. So this is Romans chapter 9 and verse 17, for the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up. All right? So the scripture saith unto Pharaoh. So the Most High is speaking unto Pharaoh, all right, saying, I made you. You see? Just like Donald Trump, Barack Obama, George W. Bush, you know, whoever the hell comes up in the next stead. You know? Lord willing, J. Trump is the last one, whether that be another election of him or whatever, you know? But it's not up to me. You know, but whoever is up in that stead, he's going to try and make war with the Most High. You know? He's going to try and make war with the Lamb. He's going to try and make war with the saints. All right? He's going to try and make war with them, man. But the Most High made him. Why? Because that's his goodwill, man. That's what he pleased. You know? So let me read that again. Romans chapter 9 and 17. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up. Why? So his power can be shown. You know? So the power of the Most High can be shown, and the love of the Most High for Israel can be shown. For generations and forever and ever, man. That's just how it is. You know? It says, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. You see that? That's what Yahweh Bashim Yahushai made the Pharaoh for, made Egypt for, made America for. He just basically made it for destruction, man. So his name can be proclaimed throughout the earth. You know? So if we stand with our power, if we stand with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, who can stand up against us, man? They might hurt you physically. They might hurt the body. All right, but Yahushai said, don't fear them that hurt the body. All right, fear him that hurts the body and the soul. You know? And that's fearing the Most High, man. It says, therefore hath he mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he will, he hardeneth. You see? So if he doesn't want you to receive this truth, he's going to harden your heart, all right, which is your mind. It's going to be like a rock. And what happens when you try and throw food or throw some water at a rock? It's going to splash out, man. All right, you might remember some of it, but the rest is going to splash out. You're not going to absorb anything. You know? And that's how it's going to be, man. That's why our enemies are going to look up and they're going to see the elect being taken up. All right? And they're going to remember those men. Verse 19, that will say unto me, why doeth he yet find fault? For who hath resisted his will? You see, so people are going to be like, well, it's unfair, all right? Because I had this dumbass, you know, say it's unfair that Esau Edom didn't receive the blessing, all right, because Jacob stole it. You see? So therefore scripture is false, and therefore Jacob is false, and therefore Israel is no longer the correct or the true inheritor, have the inheritance of the kingdom. You know? Making his own doctrine, man. Completely off, man. Completely off. You know? Because who has resisted the will of the Most High? You know? Oh, well, the Most High made Esau Edom that way. All right, so that means he still has a space of repentance. When that's not true, man. Because it even tells you in the scriptures that Esau Edom was rejected by the Spirit, man, in the book of Hebrews. I believe it was Hebrews 12. Let me get that. Hebrews 12. This is Hebrews 12. It was 16. Yeah, come on. Hebrews 12 and 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person. All right, people want to talk about profanity. Oh, you speak in profanity. All right, but that word profanity goes back to meaning outside of the temple. And what is the temple? All right, the holy temple of the Most High, man. You know, being holy, being separate. So if you're outside of the temple, that's what makes you profane. And that's why Esau Edom is seen as a profane person. You see? It says, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For ye know, all right, because back then they knew, and nowadays people want to be simple as hell. For ye know that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. For he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. You see? So Esau Edom was rejected, man. That's why he's not going to inherit the kingdom of heaven. That's why none of these other nations are going to inherit the kingdom of heaven. But the 144,000, all right, the 144,000 elect Israelites and the great multitude that follows, which are also Israelites. You know? Because all in all, that's who it all belongs to. So it says, back at Romans 9 and 19, that will say unto me, why does he yet find fault? For who hath resisted his will? Verse 20, nay, but O man, who art thou that thou repliest against the Most High? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? All right. So the Most High already chose, man, from the beginning, from the foundation of the earth. He chose Jacob, all right, after Esau, to have the inheritance of the whole world. I believe it was 2 days ago, all right, when I came out to camp, I had read that, you know, when the Most High told Yahushua, ask and I will have the heathen as thine inheritance. You see, I will give thee the heathens for thine inheritance. So what does that mean? I believe that was Psalms chapter 2, you know, the heathen meaning other nations besides Israel. You know, it says, verse 21, hath not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? All right. So the Most High created Israel to be those honorable people, that governing body, you know, which that's what that word ethnos, all right, ethnos, or not ethnos, Salakia, what is it? It's the word that they use for world. It's in John 3:16, you know, where he loved, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. All right, that word world there is damn. Oh, I can't remember the word. All right, but the meaning of the word is a government, you know, a governing body. And then you read the same thing in Isaiah 45 and 17, all right, that Israel is the world without end, you know? So if Israel is that word without end, that means Israel is the governing body. You see? The kings, the priests. And Lord willing, I'll get into that too. But go back to John chapter 1 and verse 4. In him was life. All right? In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. You see? So the darkness is not going to comprehend this truth, man. So this is Romans 13. Romans 13 and verse 10. Love worketh no ill to his neighbor, therefore love is the fulfilling of the law. All right, now who were the laws given to? Let's go back to Romans chapter 9 and verse 1. It says, I say the truth in Mashiach, all right, which is, what people would ignorantly call Christ, because in John chapter 1, or I believe it was John chapter 2, it tells you that Christ means, or that Messiah, all right, means Christ. You see? So really, all right, it's just a mistranslation, all right? Because Mashiach, the translation of Mashiach would be Messiah and not Christ, all right? Christ is a pagan, all right, a pagan word, to try and tie it in with Messiah. Because at that time, all right, they were trying to convert pagans into the true Christianism, which is the Mashiachim, the followers of the Messiah. So it says, I say the truth in Mashiach, I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness with the Holy Spirit that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Mashiach for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites. All right? So the Apostle Paul was an Israelite. You see? All the apostles were Israelites. Yahushua was an Israelite. It says, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of the Most High and the promises. Salakia. All right? That word promises, or Salakia, the word service, all right, means to serve. All right? And the services of God means and to serve the Most High. So Israel's the only one that can serve the Most High. But right here it says in verse 4, and the giving of the law. So the giving of the law was given to the Israelites. You see? So going back to Romans chapter 13 and verse 10, it says, love worketh no ill to his neighbor, therefore love is the fulfilling of the law. So the only people that really learn how to fulfill the law, the only people that are really gonna, the elect, all right, are gonna be the ones that are Israelites, that are following after the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You see? So it says, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we first believed. Why is that? Why is our salvation nearer than when we first believed, man? Because when you had John preaching the word, all right, you had people that believed in John. You see? Where am I going? Let me go to Hebrews chapter 1 and verse 1. This is Hebrews chapter 1 and verse 1. The Most High Yahweh, who at sundry times and in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days, all right, so we are in the last days, spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds. All right? So Yahushua was the one that made everything. Like we started off in John chapter 1, So going back to Romans chapter 13 and verse 12, it says, the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light. All right, which is this truth, the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding. That's this truth, man. That's what this truth represents. That's the light, So back in John chapter 1 and verse 5, the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. You see? So that's why you're going to have a division between people, Israelites, all right? They might not call themselves Israelites, but that's why there's a division, man. You know? Because those people don't comprehend the light. Those people cannot walk in the light. You know? Only the elect. Let me get Daniel's, 12:4. Daniel chapter 12. Jeremiah, Ezekiel. Daniel chapter 12. And let me start off at verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. All right? And what is that book? In Revelations 20 and 12, it tells you what that book is, man. That's the book of life. All right? That's the book of life. You see? This is the book of life, man. Ezra's prophesied about the elect. You know? He saw the elect with his own eyes, man. In a vision. He saw them being crowned by Yahawashi. You know? He saw them being crowned by Yahawashi HaMashiach, the King of Kings. You know? So if you're not found in this book of life, man, you're going to see death, destruction, famine, plagues, horrors. You know? You're going to see those things, man. So it says, verse 2, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting content. You know? And I just read that in Romans 13. You know? You need to wake up, man, because now is the high time to wake out of sleep. You know? You need to wake up right now. It's the high time to wake out of sleep, man. Because our salvation is drawing nearer than when we first believed. And that was like almost 2,000 years ago, man. See? At the time that John the Baptist was preaching the word, man. Nobody believed John. All right? There was a certain election that believed in John. But not everybody believed John. You know? They thought bad about John the Baptist. But he didn't drink. He didn't sin. You know? And they said he had some type of mad spirit on him. And then the Son of the Most High came and he drank and he fellowshiped with sinners, man. To try and bring them back into the light, you know, with the election. And people still called him wicked. Now, why do you think that is, man? If he came here preaching about love, peace, and prosperity, and let's all join hands together and we can all make it into the kingdom of the Most High. All right? Just keep doing what you're doing. Just have faith in me. That wasn't it, man. That ain't it. You know, like Jake likes to say, that ain't it, Chief. You know? That ain't it, man. Yahawashi didn't come here and he wasn't all happy and you know, creating rainbows and shit. Yahawashi was an austere man. And he came here and he preached the word like it's supposed to be preached, man. You know? This truth is raw. It doesn't care about feelings. Oh, but what about the kids? We gotta celebrate Christmas. You ain't gotta celebrate that shit, man. That's going against the commandments of the Most High. You know? And it says that in Jeremiah chapter 10. So it says, verse 3, in Daniel chapter 12 and 3, and they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament. All right? And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament. Now, are we literally walking around here shining all glorious? Not right now. We haven't received those crowns of life, man. You know? But that wisdom, knowledge, understanding that we retain within our minds, that is the light of the world, man. Those are the sparks, you know? And I'll get that in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7. But it says, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. You see that? So that's what the Most High thinks about the men that are turning people to righteousness. All right? Like Elder Yashawamba says, man, how the hell are you going to come up against men, all right, so-called Negroes, that are finally turning their life around, you know, that are finally coming unto the word, studying and preaching, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, keeping the Sabbaths, keeping the Passover, you know, preaching this gospel, which means good tidings, being an evangelist. How are you going to come up against these people, man, when they're doing good? You see? But that's the same thing they did to John the Baptist. That's the same thing they did to Yahushua HaMashiach. You know? They didn't love him. They preferred a wicked criminal, man, over Yahushua. And that's why our people are suffering up to date. You know? So this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. And I'm going to start off at verse 15. To think, therefore, upon her is perfection and wisdom. All right? That's talking about the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures. And whoso watcheth for her shall quickly be without care. All right? So you're not going to have care for this world, man. You're going to be disattached. You're going to be holy. That word holy, all right, means to be separate. You're going to separate yourself from the world. All right? You're not going to be like, man, but I want to go fucking party, man. I want to be with my bros. I want to be with some hoes. I want to get all that cheddar. I want to get all that money. All right? You're going to be separating yourself from that type of stuff, man. It says, for she goeth about seeking, Salakia. This is Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 16. For she goeth about seeking such as are worthy of her. She showeth herself favorably unto them in the ways and meeteth them in every thought. For to be very, very true for the Salakia, for the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline. All right? And the care of discipline is love. You see that? That's just what I read in the very beginning of this lesson, man. You know? Love worketh no ill to his neighbor. So therefore, love is the fulfillment of the law, which was given to the Israelites, all right? Which have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man. You know? So let me read that part again. It says, for she goeth about seeking such as are worthy of her. All right? So you have to be worthy, elected. It says, showeth herself favorably unto them in the ways, and meeteth them in every thought. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline, and the care of discipline is love. You see? So you have to be disciplined in this truth. If you call yourself a Christian and you're not disciplined with the scriptures, all right, with what the scriptures say, which is the word of the Most High, you see, then you don't really have that love. Let love be without dissimulation. All right? Don't hide your love. That's not having faith. Oh yeah, I love God, man, but let me go eat this pork chop real quick. I love God, but let me lust after that woman that's already married. I love God, but let me break this law. Let me break this commandment. That ain't love. You got to be disciplined. You see? And yeah, sometimes you're going to get out of line, man, but the Spirit is going to be on you to correct yourself. By what? By wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures. All right? Like it says in Proverbs, forsake not the law of thy mother, all right? And forget not the commandments of thy father. You see? That being the wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and the Father being Yahweh. So it says, verse 17, Salakia, verse 18, and love is the keeping of her laws. You see that? And the giving of heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. And incorruption maketh us near unto the Most High. Therefore the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom. You see? And that's what we want. We want the kingdom of the Most High, man. So you got to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, all right, to the best of your ability, in discipline, you see? Wanting wisdom, knowledge, understanding more than rubies, more than gold, more than bitches, more than fame, more than money, more than cars. You should want the kingdom of heaven, man. You see? That's the light that we carry. So this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. And let me go. Salakia, Wisdom of Solomon 3. And verse 5, verse 3. Wisdom of Solomon 3:3. And they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace. All right, and that's talking about the elect. The elect are going to be in peace. You see? Free of care. You know? It says, for though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality. All right? And that's what we have our hopes in, man. This truth, the faith that we carry, the light, this word, the names, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. It says, and having been a little chastised, all right, like the book of Hebrews chapter 12 tells you, only those that are chastised by the Most High Yahweh, all right, are the sons of Yahweh. Otherwise, you're just another bastard, man. We're all are partakers. You see? And that's in Hebrews 12, but it says, verse 6, as gold in the furnace hath he tried them, and received them as a burnt offering. All right? As gold in the furnace has he tried them. Who's them? The elect. All right? From the beginning, from the foundation of the earth. Before the foundation of the earth, the elect were already set in place by the Most High in his mind. All right? He had already established everything. Everything was set. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do this. And it's going to happen. You see? And the Most High is allowed to speak that way, man. Because he makes shit happen. He makes things happen, man. All right? So if he already spoke unto us that we're going to be saved by him, if he already spoke unto us that we're going to be in the kingdom of heaven, if he already spoke to us that all we got to do, all right, is learn, study, teach, preach, rightly divide the word of truth, and have faith in him and Yahweh Shai until our lives are at the end, man. Until enough is enough. If that's all we got to do, then that's what we got to do. You know? Like the brothers always say, man, the elect are going to be doing elect things. That's a good indicator of an elect man. And like I said, Lord willing, we're part of that number. You know? But it says, verse 7, and in the time of their visitation, they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks amongst the stubble. Woo! Man. The Most High called his elect sparks. Everybody else he called stubble. They shall shine and run to and fro. All right? And the kingdom of heaven too, you know, it could be multifold. All right? But here in this earth right now, you can see me. I'm not shining. I don't have some bright aura coming out of me. I might just be another regular man to somebody else, man. You know? But to the Most High, Lord willing, if I'd be part of that number, you know, I'm one of those candles, one of those sparks, one of those stars that walks upon the earth, man. You know? Same thing with the brothers. You see? So you're going to know a man by his works. All right? You know there's an athlete present when you see his body. All right? You're going to know a basketball player, all right, by the way of his, stature, his hoops, his hops. You're going to know a soccer player, all right, by his athleticism. You're going to know a slanderous man by his works. And you're going to know a righteous man by his works. You see? You're going to know a faithful man by his works, man. Like it says in the second book of Peter's, you know? Because faith brings forth works, man. Works of light, that is, you know? So it says, they shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people. You see? So how can you be a judge of a nation and nations if you can't judge the smallest of things, man? I don't have to go out and preach anymore. You're not being a wise judge. I don't have to teach the people what the RFID chip represents, which is the mark of the beast. You're not being a wise judge. I don't have to tell brothers to be brotherly. They should know that automatically. I mean, that's partially true, you know? But we're also set up to teach, man. In all matters, all right? In all matters of the scriptures. Whether that be of faith, you know? Whether that be of physical conduct, and whether that be of spiritual conduct, you know? That's what we're set up for, man. Some brothers may specialize in certain areas, you know? But as one whole body, we need to specialize in being spiritual towards Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Being those lights, all right? Those light bearers. So it says, they shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their Lord shall reign forever. That's Yahweh Shai. All right? Starting from Yahweh, all right, and Yahweh Shai, which really Yahweh has always been in control, man. All right? But when Yahweh Shai is in control, all right, through the power of the Most High Yahweh, that's going to be in the kingdom of heaven. You see? It says, and such as be faithful, Salakia, and the Lord shall reign forever. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth. And such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he hath care for his elect. You see, so all in all of these things all match up in the same aspect, in the whole spectrum of being part of the elect. You see? The faith, the love, all right? The keeping of the laws, the keeping of the commandments, the keeping of the statutes, the preaching, becoming a prophet. All these things belong to the elect, to the Israelites. Not all Israelites, because like it says in the book of Romans, I believe it's 11, all right? They are not all Israel that are Israel, of Israel, you know? And Israel, what is that? Israel has not found that which he seeketh for, but the elect have obtained it. What was that? Romans 11, I want to say. Romans 11 and 7. What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. You see that? The rest are going to be blinded, man. So it doesn't matter if your stepbrother or your brother, you know, fleshly brother, or your wife, you know, or the person you really care for doesn't believe you in this truth, man. All in all, if you're part of the elect, all right, you have to count all the losses as dung, as nothing. You see? You can't be attached into this world, man. You know? Being attached into this world is enmity with the Most High. The Most High hates it. You see? And if you're found in the hate of the Most High, then you're going to be found with the wrath of the Most High when he comes back, man. All right? So it says, verse 10, but the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken the Lord. You see? For whoso despiseth wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, and their hope is vain, their labors unfruitful, all right? Their labors unfruitful, and their works unprofitable. You see? So the Most High doesn't care how much you say you have faith. All right? If you don't have the right ingredients, all right, you're not going to make it. You see? You're not going to make it. So going back to the book of John, chapter 1, and I believe it was verse 5. John chapter 1 and 5. In the light shineth in the darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. All right, so these people are not going to understand what this truth is about, man. And that's fine. That's the way the Most High ordained it. You know? That's the way that the Most High ordained it. Bunch of airplanes. But verse 6, there was a man sent from the Most High whose name was John. The same came for a witness, to bear witness in the light, of the light, that all men through him might believe. Now, who are the men that are going to believe? The elect, all right? That's why I went over, you know, the previous chapters of the book of Wisdom of Solomon, you know? And even in Revelations, all right? The elect are going to believe. Those are the men that are going to believe, you see? But John was just a witness, man. You see? There's never been a prophet like John the Baptist, all right? And never will be. He's the greatest prophet that there ever was and is and will be, you know? But even the lowest of the lowest, all right, is going to be greater than John the Baptist in the kingdom of heaven. You see? So imagine how great John the Baptist is going to be in the kingdom of heaven, the elect, you know? Because 2/3 of Israel has to die. 1/3 is going to remain, which is the 144,000 and a great multitude. All right, that 1/3 is going to remain, you know, and they're going to be great in the kingdom of heaven. All right, the 144, you have the remnant of the elect, and then you're going to have the rest of the Israelites, and then you're going to have the rest of the nations at the bottom of the bottom. All right, and at the bottom of the bottom of the bottom, you're going to have Esau, Edom, as a slave. That's just what the Most High ordained, man. You know? So it says, the same came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe. He was not the light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. All right? So like I said, even with all our righteousness, we're still as filthy rags. All right? We're still as filthy rags. I'm not saying I am the light, all right? But the record that we bear, all right, this truth that we withhold, that is the light. You see? Those are the sparks. Those are the candles, the 2 olive candles, or the 2 olive trees, the 2 candlesticks, all right? The 2 witnesses, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, you know? So we are the light, man. You know? I'm not saying this physical body is the light, all right? But the truth we bear is the light of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You know? Lord willing, I'll get into that right now. So let me go to Matthew 12 and 39. Matthew chapter 12 and verse 39. This is Matthew 12 and 38. Then certain of the scribes and the Pharisees answered, saying, Master, we would see a sign from thee. All right. So if they sought a sign from Yahawashi, they're going to seek certain signs from his men. All right. They're going to seek for signs, man. They want a sign. They want to see something physical. They want to see a brother elevating in the skies, man. Levitating. You know? They want to see some type of aura, you know, emit from that person that calls himself a righteous man. They want to see some sort of proof, man. All right? But like in the work of Revelations 14, it says, and their works do follow them. Why? Because that is the proof, man. Going out to the highways and the byways, preaching the word, you know? Having sit-downs, making videos, you know, to teach the word, man. So it says, verse 39, but he answered and said unto them, an evil and adulterous generation seeketh for a sign. And that's what these people seek for, man, a sign, because they're an adulterous and wicked generation. All right? It says, and there shall no sign be given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. Same thing with John the Baptist. That was just a sign. That was his sign. You know? He would baptize people in water. Nowadays, all right, if those same people that call themselves follower of the Lord, all right, they would go, you know, the Christians or, you know, the Mormons or whatever, what have you, you know, these religions of the world, if they were in that specific time when John the Baptist was dipping people in water, they would look at him and be like, man, this dude's crazy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And they would continue walking, man. The same people that say, I would believe in John the Baptist, they wouldn't believe in him back then. All right? Because guess what? Those same people don't believe in him nowadays, man. Which we believe that John the Baptist, Elijah, all right, was Abba Bivens. And we believe Elder Tahar to be a righteous man. You know? We believe the brothers to be righteous men. You see? But people don't believe in them, man. Ooh, but like the book of Habakkuk says, man, you know, make it plain upon tables that they which read it may run. All right? For this time is for an appointed time, man. And that appointed time is coming real soon. You know? So it says, verse 40, for as Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. The men of Nineveh shall rise in judgment with this generation and shall condemn it, because they repented at the preaching of Jonas. All right? Because they repented at the preaching of Jonas, and behold, a greater than Jonas is here. You know? Which John the Baptist was greater than Jonas, you know, and Yahawashi was way greater. But they didn't believe Yahawashi. So how are they going to believe the men of Yahawashi? You see? So this light is not for them, man. They're in darkness. Leave them in darkness. All right? They that be filthy, let them be filthy still, man. You know? They that be unrighteous, let them be unrighteous still. You see? Let the unclean just be unclean, man. You know? It's not up to us. It's not up to us to convert wicked people into becoming righteous men. It's up to the Most High. If that seed does not reside, all right, does not reside in his mind, in good soil, then he's not of the Most High. You know? So back in John chapter 1 and verse 6, there was a man sent from the Most High whose name was John. The same came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe. All right? That all men through him might believe. So let me get this one, because this involves with what we're doing. 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 2. All right? 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 2. Preach the word, be instant, in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. Now let me get this one real quick. What was it? Sirach 24. Bell. Baruch. This is Sirach 24 in verse 33. I will yet make doctrine to shine as the morning, and I will send forth her light afar off. You see? So this doctrine that we carry, man, this doctrine that we carry is part of the light. You see? And like it says in Isaiah 28 and 9, whom shall he teach doctrine, and whom shall he make understand? Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make understand doctrine? Them that are weaned to the milk and drawn from the breast, for precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. For with stammering lips shall he reach his people, I believe it says. You know, shall he speak to his people? All right, and his people are being spoken to right now by way of the prophets, you know? So he's going to teach this doctrine to the elect. That's basically what it's saying, man. Not to everybody, all right? Not to Vocab Malone, you know, but to righteous men that seek discipline, you know? And Vocab Malone doesn't seek discipline. What he wants is the freedom that he has, you know? Which is not true freedom, you know? He's seeking for a different type of freedom, man. And that freedom is wickedness, you know? So it says, back at Ecclesiasticus 24 and 33, I will yet pour out doctrine as prophecy and leave it to all ages forever. You see, so as we prophesy, all right, because to prophesy means to say before, as we're out here prophesying about this truth, all right, that's the doctrine you should be cleaving unto, you know, filtered through the scriptures and not just by word of mouth. It says 34, behold that I will not labor for myself only, but for all them that seek wisdom, all right, that seek correction, that seek discipline, that seek faith, that seek the kingdom of heaven through Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You know? What's this? Back at 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 2. Preach the word, be instant in season and out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. You see? With all long suffering and with doctrine. It says, for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts shall they heap up to themselves teachers having itchy ears. All right, that's the same thing in Isaiah 30. The Israelites always had itchy ears, man. They would say to the prophet, prophesy not, and to the prophesy not, and to the And to the watchers, you know, let me get it. I don't want to butcher it. Isaiah 30, and let's start off at verse 9. Isaiah 30 and 9. Is that 45? Isaiah chapter 30 and in verse 9, that this is a rebellious people lying children that will not hear the law of Yahweh, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us smooth things, or Salakia, prophesy not unto us right things, all right, things that are correct and moral according to the Most High. Speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits, all right? And that's what Israel wants, man. That's why they have itchy ears, you see? It says, back at 2 Timothy 4 and verse 3, for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itchy ears. You see? And that's why Jeremiah chapter 4 says, my people are sottish children. All right? That means they're stupid. And that's why Hosea chapter 4 and 6 says, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. You see? It says, for the time, Salakia, verse 4, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth and shall be turned unto fables. All right? That word fables means a speech of fiction and invention. All right? And Christianity is an invention. All right? These world religions are inventions. They're not truths. They're inventions, man. You know? And that's what our people decide to follow. They want to follow that instead of following Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right? Verse 5. But watch thou in all things. You see? If you're watching things, you're a seer. Same thing we read in Isaiah 30. Endure afflictions. Do the work of an evangelist. All right? Now the word evangelist, all right, means a person that brings good tidings. All right? And this Bible are good tidings, good news. All right? That's what it represents. So to be an evangelist means to bring the good tidings unto our people. You see? So it says, make full proof of thy ministry. All right? Make full proof of thy ministry. How do you prove that you're a minister of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai? Do the work. All right? James chapter 2. Do the work, man. That's what you got to do. You know? So going back to John chapter 1. And well, let me get Matthew 5 and 14. Matthew chapter 5 and verse 14. Matthew 5 and 14. Matthew chapter 5 and verse 14. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. All right? You're the salt of the earth. You're the light of the world. All right? What does that mean? All right? I wish I could look up that word, world, in verse 14, you know? Because if it's the word the same as John 3 and 16, all right, then it's speaking directly to the elect, meaning they're the light of all Israel. You see? But it says, let me read that again. Matthew 5 and 14. Ye are the light of the world. Why? Because of this truth that we carry. All right, you are the light of the world. A city that is built on that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. You see, so that's what we are, man. We're candles in this truth. You know, we're candles in this world, man. So as candles and as light bearers, all right, what we ought to do is be instant in season and out of season, all right, to make full proof of our ministry. You see? So going back to, what was it, Revelations 11:4? Let me go to Revelations 11:4, I believe. Let me start from verse 3. Revelations 11:3 says, and I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before the Most High of the earth, the God of the earth. All right? So we're going to have to prophesy, you see? So if you consider yourself a prophet, a light bearer, a bearer of this truth, all right, somebody that has been enlightened, all right, then what should you do? Prophesy, all right? Make yourself closer unto Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. You see? Those are the 2 martyrs, all right? Those are the martyrs of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai that are ride or die for Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. You know? Verse 5, and if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devoureth their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. These have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days. God damn. Fucking people, man. It says, these have the power to shut heaven, that it raineth not in the days of their prophecy, and have power over waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues, as often as they will. All right, and those are the powers that the elect are going to gain, man. The elect are going to gain, you know, unnatural abilities. You know, it says, and when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit, or the bottomless pit meaning Europe, all right, shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them. All right, some of us are going to have to die for this truth, you know, but those are the ones that carry this light that really matter. So going back to John chapter 1, and verse 8, he was not the light, but he was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world. All right, so who is that light? Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is that true light. All right, and he lighteth up a man in his mind, all right, that comes into this earth, into this world. You see? So it says, he was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. All right, so if it didn't know Yahweh Shai, it's not going to know the men of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. You know? It says, he came unto his own, and his own received him not. All right, 2/3 of Israel. It says, but as many as receive him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name. All right, so in Genesis chapter 1, where it says the son, or Genesis chapter 2, I believe, where it says, or Salakia, in the book of Genesis, I believe it was 3, if I'm not mistaken. God damn. The woman. Male, female, item. This Adam. Salakia. Can't find it. Con. This is Genesis chapter 6 and verse 2. That the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And Yahweh said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. All right, so right there it explained that those sons of men were actual flesh. All right, those sons of God were actual flesh, man. They were men. All right. So going back to John chapter 1 and verse, where was I? Verse 12, it says, but as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name. All right, so you become a son of the Most High by what? By this word, by this truth. All right, this is 1 John. Salakia. 1 John chapter 5 and verse 1. Whosoever believeth that Yahushua is the Messiah is born of the Most High, and everyone that loveth him that begat loveth him also that is begotten of him. By this we know that we love the children of the Most High, when we love the Most High and keep his commandments. For this is the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. For whosoever is born of the Most High overcometh the world, and this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. You see? So those are the sons of the Most High. This is 1 John chapter 3 and verse 2. Beloved, now are we the sons of the Most High, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. You see? So that's the light of the world, man. You know, we are the sons of the Most High. If he doesn't chasten you in this truth, all right, you're just a bastard, all right? But it has to be all in the whole, man. It can't just be one little thing that you're doing, all right, and okay, I feel like I'm doing the right thing, you know? Granted, some brothers are going to be doing less than others, you know, we know that, all right? But it's all according to the election of the Most High. So it says, 1 John, or John chapter 1 and verse 13, which were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of the Most High. All right? So you didn't become an elect just because you were born of the blood of an Israelite, because you're going to have 2/3 of the Israelites that are going to fall. All right? So you weren't born into this truth by blood. You were born into this truth by the Spirit, and that Spirit came by way of hearing. All right? And that way of hearing came from a preacher. And how could there be a preacher if he's not been sent? You see? So it says, and the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, and the glory of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. You see, and that's in the book of Baruch also. Baruch chapter 3, all right? When wisdom came down and conversed with men. That's Yahushua, man, you know? And like I read in Hebrews 1, he's always spoken to the fathers, all right? He's always spoken to his people by way of a prophet. All right? So let me get verse 15, it says, John bare witness of him and cried, saying, this was he of whom I spake. He that cometh after me is preferred before me, for he was before me. And of his fullness have all we received, and graced for grace. You see? So Yahawashi gave grace to those men. And right now we're preaching of this man. We're preaching of Yahawashi. We're preaching that he's going to come back. And he's not going to come back with peace, love, and prosperity, man. He's going to come back with wrath, with vengeance. All right? He will not meet you as a man, like it says in Joel chapter 2. You know? So it says, let me get Colossians and Ecclesiasticus. Sirach 12 and 10. Sirach, Judith. Sirach, Judith, Solomon. Sirach chapter 12 and verse 10. It says, never trust. Sirach 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou had wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Let me go. What was it? 12? Salakia, give me a... Bear with me. Sirach 17 and 10. And the elect shall praise his holy name. Beside this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for a heritage. He made an everlasting covenant with them and showed them his judgments. Their eyes saw the majesty of his glory, and their ears heard his glorious voice. And he said unto them, beware of all unrighteousness, and he gave every man commandment concerning his neighbor. Their ways are ever before him, and shall not be hid from his eyes. Every man from his youth is given to evil, neither could they make to themselves fleshly hearts of stony. All right? Of fleshly hearts from stony. So the Most High said in Jeremiah 31 and 31, he's going to give you a new heart, man. And that's going to be the new covenant. All right? And you're going to be able to follow all his laws, all his ways. You see? And he's going to turn your stony heart into a fleshly heart. All right? To absorb everything that he wants you to. You see? It says, every man from his youth, so like in verse 17, for the division of the nations of the whole earth, he set a ruler over every people, but Israel is the Lord's portion. You see? So all of this belongs to Israel, man. And like it says in Colossians chapter 3 and verse 12, put on therefore as the elect of the Most High, holy and beloved, all right, by the Most High, man. So I hope that was edifying. And with that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahawashi, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth to rule well. Shalom, and keep the slide, Akim. Shalom.